Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Ravindranath Reddy Kolakotla. I am from National College of Ireland studying Masters in Cybersecurity. This module is secure programming for application development. The main aim of the module is to develop an application with more by providing security features. So and for this project, the lecturer has given a piece of code where we have to check any vulnerabilities are applicable in that code, and we have to write it manually. So for that, we have used tools like NetBeans and MySQL Workbench. MySQL Workbench, by using MySQL Workbench, I have imported that piece of code, and I have created an instance. By creating the instance, I have created a local instance. By creating that instance, I can see the librarian usernames and the passwords for that. I'll same like this. Like this is instant. This is the passwords for username and password for librarian, and also I can see the users like passwords, username and password for these as well. So so again I have been into the NetBeans. So why I have used only NetBeans instead of Eclipse, I'll tell you. The main difference between Eclipse and NetBeans is that Eclipse is also a free Java-based development platform known for its plugins that allow programs to develop and test code written in other programming languages. Where the NetBeans is also an open source modular based integrated development environment for developing applications in many languages like Java, PHP, C++, so on and so on. So that's why yeah, and it is used for more languages. That's why I have been used NetBeans. So when I went to the NetBeans, I have imported that zip file which has been provided by the lecturer, and I have after importing, then I went to the I went for review for the code. So when I went to the db.java, I found the username. Here, I changed the username into password into root. Before it was like your password. It will be like your password. So I have changed it into the root, and again after that I have run it. So after running it, I found some error, like there is no like a connector for this. There is a connector for this, but it's not the latest connector. So I have downloaded it, the latest connector, and I have imported it. So after importing, then when I have run it, so I found a login page for the librarian login and user login. So when I went back to the MySQL local instance, then there I can see the librarian login and user login. When I logged in, uh, I will I got this home page. So for getting that home page, I used NetBeans and MySQL Workbench. So after that, after successful login, I have reviewed the code manually and found some vulnerabilities which are mentioned below. In librarian login.java, the password is not that much complex, like is not that much complex, where the hacker can easily track or can easily hack it. So every developer should make sure that the password should be complexity. By giving complexity in password, it will be very difficult for the attackers to guess it or to try it by using different methods of brute force. And also sometimes what will happen, the attackers may even get tired of trying with different methods, and even and at the time the hacker may think like, why to crack this complexity of complexity, then it is better to go for the another application which are easy. So every developer or programming should be aware while creating a password and setting a password which cannot be, and they have to set up a password which cannot be trackable, or at least try to they have to try to give more complexity by combining parameters like alphabets, numbers, characters, and so on. So coming to the next, in user login.java, I found that there is no password reset. So if there is no password reset, then even the developer cannot change his password, or cannot reset his own password. So in that case, what will happen? The attacker can easily come to know his password, which cannot be reset, or an teammate or another employee of his team may steal his password and may sell outside to any unauthorized organizations, to make their organization into an attack. So every developer should keep in mind that it is more important that they have to implement this rule to overcome from the attackers, and the password and the maximum time of password to use one time is for 3 months. Now they should not, after 3 months it should ask like password reset when they are trying to log in. So in user login.java, the coming to the another vulnerability in user login success.java, the code is vulnerable to SQL injection. We know what is mean by SQL injection. SQL injection attack is an technique where the malicious code is injected into the program and attacks data-driven applications, so that the SQL statements are injected into an entry field for execution. And to overcome from this, it is suggested that to make use of coordinated statements or parameterized statements to mitigate from SQL injection attack. In db. Coming to the another vulnerability, in db.java, the password is kept as open. Instead, it can be encoded or encrypted and stored in a property by creating a property file in a class path. So coming to the next vulnerability in user DAO.java, the developer did not check for the data fields and there is no hashing for the password. In new view.java, there is no specific validation or input validation for the textbook. In librarian success.java and issue book form.java, resource consumption, the developer is directly calling the book. Instead, the developer can validate or check the book whether it is available by using book ID. Then he can call it by the get text method. The same way for the user ID as well. The develop and coming for the issue book form, the developer is not validating the username and calling directly. Instead the developer can use to validate the username and then call the get text method. In the same way, the password as well. So those are the vulnerabilities I found in that piece of code. So coming to the conclusion, in this pandemic world, each and every hacker try to hack the organization by using vulnerabilities. So most of the vulnerabilities in an organization found in their running applications, like whether they are not, sometimes they might not be updated or patched. In order to secure them, they have to upfront every time and how to patch their applications as well. They have to educate uh, their employees to overcome from these vulnerabilities. For each and every running application, there will be some vulnerabilities, and to overcome these vulnerabilities, certain authority persons or the application owners should release new patches for the vulnerabilities when they found. And when an update version releases for certain applications, each and every organization should keep an eye on the updates, and at the same time they have to patch their updates. Also and also every developer should check their code thoroughly before releasing to the outside world. And also they have to add more security features in developing their application in order to overcome from the hackers. And the developer or testing team should check for OWASP 10 top 10 vulnerabilities on their code before releasing to outside world. Thank you.